Yeah, I think the history of the category is a very interesting one, and it's a modern invention in the sense that the secular is the non-religious. In my own historical research, I would say that the idea of the non-religious state or the non-religious domain of politics has been invented since the late 17th century in Anglophone discourse, that is. But perhaps it was earlier in some other languages, but in the Anglophone discourse, I think that the invention of the secular as the non-religious is simultaneous with the invention of the modern idea of religions as being generic and universal and found in all societies. And this is an ideological dichotomy which answers specific interests. And I think it's very important to realize that this was the product of a colonial context, that it wasn't simply to do with what are referred to as the wars of religion in Europe. They themselves are part of the conceptual development of a modern discourse. Oh, definitely, yes. I mean, I think that though clearly India, like all countries, have unique problems and unique formulations, there has to be some commonality in the discourse. And there's no way of understanding the secular, the modern secular, without also contextualizing it in the modern nation state and in the idea of religion as a private right. I think all of these categories have to be looked at simultaneously and deconstructed. There are no essential meanings to any of these categories. They all have shifting boundaries, but they're also acts of power, and we have to look at what power interests they represent. Oh, very much so. I think it's been a hugely successful conference. There was, of course, a problem with the debate that took place on the second day, or was it the first day? But the problem with that debate was that some of the participants didn't really understand at what level the discussion was aimed, that it was actually aimed at questioning the very categories that organize modern thinking. And if you're working within those categories uncritically, then to challenge the categories themselves seems like an act of madness. But actually we have to do that. And I think that in that sense, the conference is addressing a very real and urgent issue.